Oh, jam! Hello again and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 487 of the Mana Pool, and officially the first episode of our 10th year of podcasting. No, wait, that's Marty Vehicles. Yeah, we'll go with that. That was good too. That's probably more accurate. Wah, wah. I am Chewie, the lead dork, and with me, as always, are some other dorks. Hello, dorks.
Hello, I'm Brian. I'm the lead rambler, tangent master, and I couldn't give 2 cents about. I don't care on any level. Who may or may not be the sexiest man in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Well, that's too bad.
Doesn't matter to me whatsoever.
Well, he probably doesn't care about you either, Brian.
Probably not. But today it felt like I was the only person on social media that did not, in fact, have an opinion.
Oh.
You hear about this?
Nah.
It's Blake Shelton, and people were like losing their friggin' minds about it.
Who's Blake Shelton?
Country singer.
One of the judges.
There's your problem.
And why are they losing their minds?
Internet.
Apparently he's not sexy enough.
I guess. Who's next?
Look,
Anyway.
if it's not Brad Pitt, then I don't give a damn.
Apparently he doesn't meet the usual. He's not like the Brad Pitt kind of looking guy.
Yeah, he's not conventionally attractive enough or whatever.
Now I have to look up who the hell Blake Shelton is. Thanks, Brian.
You're
Blake
welcome.
Shelton. Who is
Mike's
this person?
here too.
Anyway, I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and the game lore guy, and I'm not concerned about the sexiest man in the world because I know we have him right here on this very show. Take it away, sir.
Well,
I already introduced myself.
But who else is here?
I meant Dirk.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
well,
He usually goes.
that's fair.
Well, I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed greenest man alive in Moral Comps the group, and I appreciate the award that you are awarding me, Mike, but I must also send that back your way because of the men here, you have the most amazing beard.
Oh my God, it's true.
It's legendary.
Dude.
And it doesn't eat infants.
Shut up.
Or infinite infants.
Yes.
So I looked up Blake Shelton. I mean, he's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Internet's,
and I
man.
think that's what people have beef with. He's just all right.
Oh, like, to use my mom's terminology, I probably would kick him out of the bed for eating crackers. I'd be like, man, we gotta sleep here. Get out and eat the crackers in the living room. Damn. Brad Pitt, however, I would just knock the crackers out of his hand. I'm just saying. Why are we talking about this?
So Brian doesn't care.
We're good.
Oh, because Brian doesn't care, right?
It was
Got
supposed to be on my little witty thing that I said, and we would roll with it, and then it turned into its own thing.
Oh,
So hey,
okay.
we're here talking about magic, right?
No, well, sort of. First, we have to do this Mad Lib. It's very short, but it's epic. This is actually a Mad Lib that was done during a Hearthstone live stream. Yeah, Level 99 Luck was like, hey, I'm going to do a Mad Lib with the chat. And he got the list. And I was like, dude, when you get it done, send it to me and I'll read it out. And it was awesome. And I was like, that was so good, dude. I need you to send the whole thing to me. He said, will do. So now we're going to do it here because it's awesome. Because I told him I would.
Sounds good.
So, are you guys ready for another Level 99 Luck Magic Mad Lib?
Always.
Yes.
All right, I need the hiccups to go away. I need a legendary creature, and this one's important.
This one's important, huh?
Jaya Ballard, Task Mage. Is her card just called Jaya Ballard?
I think it is, yeah.
No,
Okay.
it's Jaya Ballard, Task Mage.
Damn it. Okay, then. So that's the important one. So I need a creature class.
Creature class.
Yeah. Like economics.
Yeah. Dragon.
That's not a class.
I know.
Not a job.
Most dragons are just dragons, though.
Although, to be fair, if that was a job, I would love it.
It might be more difficult than you think.
Yeah, well, so is
Anyway.
content creation, so, I'm used to that.
Yeah. How about rogue?
Rogue. Okay, now I need a race.
Now it's time to say dragon.
Okay, I'm saying dragon.
That
Now I
sounds like a
need
dragon to me.
a Ravnica Guild Mage.
Is it Guildmage?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yes.
Oh,
Is it
oh
Guildmage?
God, you were beat. Oh my God, I hate
It's
you.
kind of
Brian.
what I said it, and yet I'm instantly regretting it at the same time.
I thought you were asking a question, like maybe I fuzzed out while I was talking or something. I was like, yeah,
I
it
thought
says
you were
Guild
messing
Mage.
with us.
No, I was responding to Brian.
God.
Oh my God, give me an artifact.
Platinum Angel.
Okay, that's a good one. I need a. I need a red
gonna be
instant. No, it's just that one's funny to me for some reason.
You need a red instant?
Yes.
Zap.
God, I was hoping someone would say that. Not necessarily for this one, just in general. I need another creature class.
Cleric.
Okay, a green sorcery.
Overrun.
I was trying to come up with something other than overrun. I couldn't do it.
No, it's perfect. Now I need a plane.
There are no other ones.
That's true. Green only has creatures and
And overrun.
oh wait, no, ramp effects are sorceries. Whoops.
You need a plane.
Yes.
Mike, what's that one that we had the glimpse into on Plane Chase where you've got the little people in the chariots?
How did I know?
I didn't hear the question for some reason.
We need a plane.
A plane? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, that one.
Wait, did you hear Brian's question, Mike?
No.
The one from Plane Chase where the little people are on the chariots.
Segovia?
Okay.
Is that like the Sokovian Accords?
Segovia. It's a G, not a K.
Okay.
Is it? I thought it was Segovia in Avengers.
No, that's the Sokovia Accords, apparently.
Segovia is a city in the autonomous region of Castile and Leon, Spain, famous for its magnificent Roman aqueduct and for its cathedral. Oh,
Ooh.
Aqueduct.
the aqueduct? Anyway, hang on, I've lost my notepad file. I now need a land, a non-legendary land.
A non-legendary land.
It doesn't
Is
say that, but
sorry.
I'm adding that, so yes.
Misty Rainforest.
Misty Rainforest. Now I need another
Hey,
one.
big spender.
Okay, now I need another one.
What's the one that do the hideaway lands, are those legendary?
No.
All right, the blue one with the turtle. Shellback Isle?
Shell Jock Isle.
Shelldock.
Shelldock. I think that's right.
Shelldock Isle.
Okay, now I need a legendary land.
Is the Maze of Ith legendary?
No.
Why not?
Tolaria.
Tolaria. Is that all? That is all it's called, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What does that do?
It is very silly.
Damn it! I just closed Gather. Now I'm curious. Tolaria. Oh, this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's from Legends. Target creature loses banding and all bands with other abilities until end of turn.
Broken.
Okay
Activates this
then.
ability only during any upkeep step.
Yeah.
I guess that was to prevent combat from suddenly becoming very strange.
This is
let's hope
banded.
so.
No, it's not. But it was already. Ah.
So now I need a creature.
Zodiac Rooster. I have been waiting for you to ask for a creature, and
God,
you kept asking for other things.
That's gonna fit perfectly. Give me a blue enchantment.
I'm done. No,
A
blue
that's an uncard.
enchantment?
Yeah, blue enchantment.
Apathy.
Oh my God! You guys, do you know this one? Like these are perfect.
No.
No.
Give me a white instant.
Get a life. Are we including uncards?
Sure, why not?
Is that a white instant?
Is it instant or sorcery?
I don't know.
I
I don't know this card.
Get a life. It's an instant.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure, why not? A red enchantment. Oh God.
It's not galvanic arc.
Preferably, sure. There's so many wonderful red rare enchantments.
Yet another Aether Vortex.
Okay, let's not stick with just the uncards here.
Okay, fine.
This is gonna be silly enough without it.
Okay, fine. Let's cancel that then.
I'm Breath of Fury.
Oh.
I had to look it up to make sure I got the name right.
That's hot. I need a plane.
Dominaria.
Dominaria.
We're going back.
Woohoo!
And next
Mama,
year's actually
I'm coming
closer than it was a while ago.
Green enchantment.
Oath of Druids?
No, that's the same one. Oh,
You said this.
Give me, hang on.
I think Brian was about to say the same thing I was.
Wait, what was that?
I thought you said this was a short one.
But I was going to say...
It is weird. We're talking about these a lot, but this is very short.
I was going to say, I think it's our fault, though, so...
Is there anyone in the story who's connected to Jaya Ballard?
She had a fling with... Wait, no, I'm thinking of somebody else.
She was the one that founded that monastery on Regatha that Chandra lived at, right?
Yeah.
We're asking about people she was involved with.
Yeah.
Don't really know.
Heck, I don't know. I'm not educated enough to know that.
She just liked to burn things.
Fair enough. Okay, then we'll just say... Give me a black aura.
Torture.
Oh, God. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, only 4 more. An instant.
Harm's Way.
An enchantment.
Dragon Wings. Is that an enchantment? Dragon.
Yes, it is.
A land. That is not a land.
No, it's not.
Urz is mine.
No, he's mine.
And you can have him. And finally, a creature.
How about a Rogue Kavu?
All right. So before the show, I asked if these guys liked The Big Lebowski.
Which I've never seen, so...
Which Brian is... So Brian, you will probably not appreciate this one as much as the rest of us. So,
But one of the DAs in the High Point office is a fan, I think, because she has several bumper stickers from something called Lebowski Fest, so with lots of quotes on them.
that is a thing that happened. I forget where Lebowski Fest is, but it is a big deal for the fans of the dude. Anyway, here we go. Jaya Ballard Task Mage was a good rogue and a good dragon. She was one of us. She was an Izzet guild mage who loved platinum angels
Yeah, she did.
and zapping. And as a cleric, she overran the beaches of Segovia from Misty Rainforest to Sheldock Isle and up to Teloria. She died as so many as so many young Zodiac roosters of her generation before her time. And in your apathy, Lord, you took her. Just as you took so many bright, get-a-lifing young women on the Breath of Fury battlefields of Dominaria. These young men and women gave their oath of druids, and so did Jaya Ballard Task Mage. Jaya Ballard Task Mage, who loved platinum angels. And so, Theodore Donald Karabatsos Bellardioso, in accordance with what we think your torture wishes might well have been, We harm's way your final mortal remains to the dragon wings of the Urza's mine, which you love so well. Good night, sweet Rogue Kavu.
That's great.
I don't know the movie, but I feel like I really didn't need to because that was hilarious.
This was a eulogy that John Goodman's character gave.
Yeah, Walter's eulogy for Donnie.
I could tell it was a eulogy. But,
That's funny.
she died, as did so many other young Zodiac boosters already.
And in your apathy.
Sure, why not?
Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna this is something we usually only do on the odds and ends, but just because that was so funny.
We're gonna swear?
What? No.
Oh.
Here's a link to the actual eulogy. I'm gonna, because there's no actual swearing in this section. I'm actually gonna count it down, and let's all hit play and listen to it so the listeners can hear the original. Just because that was so great.
Okay.
All right, so let me know when you guys are all at 0. All of you that
I'm watching an ad for Ashley Home Furniture.
Oh.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. You guys good?
Yep.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Donnie was a good bowler and a good man. He was one of us. He was a man who loved the outdoors and bowling. And as a surfer, he explored the beaches of Southern California from La Jolla to Leo Carrillo and up to Pismo. He died as so many young men of his generation before his time. In your wisdom, Lord, you took him. As you took so many bright, flowering young men at Quezon, at Londoc, at Hill 364. These young men gave their lives. So did Donnie. Donnie who loved bowling. And so, Theodore Donald Karabatsas, in accordance with what we think your dying wishes might well have been, we commit your final mortal remains to the bosom of the Pacific Ocean, which you loved so well. Good night, sweet prince.
That's terrible.
Okay. I'll just stop it there before they they all start swearing at each other.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you very much, Pete. That was good.
Back in Nam.
Yeah. So that was, yeah. So we did that on the on the stream, and it was pretty awesome. Hang on, let me. Where does this go? This goes here. Yeah, we started with Grizzlebrand, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. I was supposed to improvise a name for Jaya. Whoops. Okay, so I might have screwed that up, but it's fine. That one ended with "Good night, sweet brushwag." By the way, so that was classic stuff. But anyway, right, we should talk about the new cards then.
Yes,
because never-ending preview season is upon us, but this time they're really weird.
Yeah, and in January we're gonna get Rivals of Ixalan, so.
Well, that's in January. Jeez.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Well, this Friday, Iconic Masters goes on sale. So tomorrow, as of this recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that set?
Yeah. Am I worried about it? No.
Yeah, just all the hype was months ago, and then it came out, and everybody looked at it and went, "Oh."
So, but we're here to talk about unstable.
Yeah, we are.
And
Like
you
more
know, I
than
think-
just us as
When-
usual.
when did Unglued or when did Unhinged come out? When did Unhinged come out?
I don't know. That's what Google's for. Okay, Unglued came out in 2012. Unhinged release date.
2002.
Wait, what'd I say?
You said 2012, which I was like, huh? Unhinged came
Okay.
out on Unhinged came out on November 19th, 2004. So that's what I thought was that this
Okay,
is the
wait.
first.
So in Google, I typed Unhinged release date, and a date popped up, and I just read it off.
Oh, okay.
But that was for something else. So yeah, Unglued was 1998.
Okay.
Unhinged was 2004.
2004. So this is the first unset since we have been recording in the last 10 years. So
Correct.
I was like, I don't think we've ever covered previews for an unset before. I was trying to figure out if they just didn't do them or if they just hadn't done one in the last 10 years. So,
Yeah,
which is
it's,
the latter.
It's that one.
And this unsets are silver bordered, meaning that they're not legal for constructed tournaments
Yeah.
of any kind, except for one that specifically says silver bordered. And they tend to be really wacky and cut loose and do stuff you don't usually see anywhere else. And a lot of times in the past, they've included things like manual dexterity cards. What was that one in Unhinged where it was like you had to balance it on your hand, and then if it felt like call to arms or something like that.
Farewell to Arms.
Yeah, farewell to arms. Yeah, something like that.
That was your opponent had to play with. You chose one of your opponent's hands, and they had to play with it behind their back.
Right. And then there's things like Elvis House Party, which gets +1/+1 for I think if it's on the current time. So if it's on the battlefield and it's 7 something, then it gets +7/+7 or so. So things you can't normally do or enforce in a game of Magic, and they're weird and they're wacky, and that's kind of, but they all have a distinct feel to them. And this is definitely a different take on this. Do we want to start with the mechanics article? Because that's probably the best way to talk about what this set is really about.
Sure. So the mechanics article originally came out, and it explained contraptions, and that was it.
And the watermark theme.
And watermarks.
And watermark? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay,
first
sure.
5 factions.
That's something else that really struck me about this set was that there was something that didn't sit quite right with it about me, and I think what it is that previous unsets almost didn't have anything. The cards didn't have almost anything in common with each other. They might have minor themes, like in Unhinged. A lot of cards cared about what a card's name was or who an artist was, but otherwise,
there was and it used halves instead of whole
halves.
numbers.
And there was the running joke with asses.
Yeah, the cycle of asses.
And City of Ass. But
The
otherwise,
very first Unglued, I know, had a chicken theme.
yeah,
Chicken, and was it squirrels too?
Yeah, squirrels, chickens, and squirrels.
And lots of rolling of dice.
Lots of dice.
D6s. But otherwise, the cards didn't interrelate at all, which allowed them to do a lot of interesting things. And especially Unhinged had a lot of making fun of behind the scenes at R&D and at Magic.
And a lot of the cards. One of the main points of Unglued and Unhinged was to pack as many jokes as possible into each card as well.
Yeah. Whereas now it looks like Unstable, they took a different approach, and it looks like there's a lot more of the modern card design philosophy here, because as crazy as a lot of these cards are, for at least a lot of the first half of this week when I'm looking at it, I kind of felt like it wasn't crazy enough, because I'm like, usually if I can see a card being able to be printed in Magic Online so that the computer system can handle it, I don't think it's a good candidate for an unset. And too much of this felt like, oh, it's just silly, but it's still a Magic card. But I've kind of changed position a little bit based on some of this stuff. So
yeah, and I think the impression I'm getting from the cards we've seen so far is that Unstable is making more of a point to, because really, at its core, and what the motivation for Unglued was at the beginning, was to make a set where the cards did things that the normal rules of the game didn't allow for.
right,
That's something that two people sitting across from a table could do, but the rules just it just wouldn't work.
right,
Like, it might be actually impossible.
yeah,
And because Mark Rosewater was in charge of the first one, then the second. But because Mark Rosewater was in charge of the first one, of course, he also wanted a packet full of jokes. He just likes that. And something similar followed in Unhinged, full of jokes, and also cards doing things that the rules of the game didn't allow for. But the impression I've gotten from Unstable is that they're focusing on mechanical things that the current rules of the game don't allow for. But like Brian said, they wanted to make it more of a modern, sensible, playable set. So it feels kind of more like a silver bordered normal set than the silver bordered comedy sets that we've been used to.
Right. And I do know in his first article talking about Unstable, not this week, but actually last week, Mark Rosewater did say that they actually don't look at the first two unsets as a success, because in both instances, they had to destroy product where people were really into it for like the first weekend. And then they could not sell product, even with the lands, to save their lives because nobody wanted to actually play the cards.
Because they were printing them at the level of like a normal expansion.
Right.
But something like this, if you're not running draft after draft every week and you don't have limited GPs, you're not going to be using that much product.
Right. So, but this does have a different approach to it. And some of these things like the watermark feature, I think could be something that they could do in a normal set if they decided to. They haven't. But would it really be that difficult to do something like this in Ravnica, where you said, okay, everything with a Boros watermark gets +1/+1,
Mm-hmm.
So, but
and there have been things from the first two unsets that at the time were too silly or impossible that they realized later, hey, this actually works right now, or we can figure out a way to do this.
The cheese stands alone.
Yep.
Barren glory.
Yep, so that actually happened to work within the rules as is.
Yeah, and others have been tweaked a little bit. So, Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Super Haste turned into what, Forecast? Not Forecast.
I thought that turned into the
Super Haste turned into the packs.
The packs, yeah,
the
from
packs, right?
Yeah.
There was another one.
The Infernal Spawn of Evil turned into Forecast.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew something ended up with being. Now, no one remembers Forecast now, but still, it's not the point. Shut up. So yeah, there are several examples, but I think we've given those several times in the past. So let's just talk about the new stuff.
Right. So the first mechanic, quote unquote, for Unstable is that there are 5 factions here. Each one has a particular watermark. There's the Order of the Widget, the Agents of SNEAK, the League of Dastardly Doom, the Goblin Explosioneers, and the Crossbreed Labs. Woof, woof. And each one has its own watermark. And so there are cards in the set that care about watermarks. And here's the first preview right here is an uncommon Hammerfest Boomtacular, which I gotta say, I do like the name.
That's one of the best names ever. For
3 and 2 red, it's an enchantment, and whenever you cast a spell with a Goblin Explosioneer's watermark, Hammerfest Boomtacular deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So, right off the bat, I was like, that's kind of interesting, but I could also see this being almost a normal card. But
I mean, it is a normal card because they've done this whenever you cycle a card, do a thing. Whenever
do a thing, deal damage,
Whenever you like play an arcane spell, do a thing. Whenever you it's a red enchantment with damage attached to whatever's going on in the set.
With the set mechanic, But I also have to mention, with almost every card we talk about today, the flavor text, because this set is nothing without the flavor. So it's less music and more straightforward hearing damage. So, because I mean, come on, you know, I know we've got some stuff to talk about, but without the flavor text, So, but you know, that was one of the things that kind of threw me off ahead of time. But again, I'll get more into that later.
Also, unlike other unsets, this had world building. Like, this all takes place on one plane.
Right.
And I forgot the name of it.
Oh, I forgot too.
Wait, where did I see that?
Yeah, there's world building, all this stuff. All these things are happening in the same place, and there's like a unified art direction and everything going on too.
Yeah. Hang on, I'll find it. It was on a Rosewater blogatog thing, because of course it was. Here we go. It is called Bablovia. Bablovia. Bablovia.
Cool. So what's the next mechanic?
Mike, this one's all you, buddy.
Yeah, because I literally had to read this section through 3 times to understand it.
Just 3?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
think
wasn't
they've
completely clear to me on the first read too.
I think they've edited this article because the graphic that shows the card back, I swear on Monday, was on its side, and I thought it had to be like, you know, vertical rather than horizontal, and I was like, there's not room, I don't understand. So anyway, I'm talking. Mike, go ahead.
Okay, so this is something that's been in the works for a long time. They actually found a way to implement contraptions. So back in Future Sight, there were a bunch of future shifted cards that showed possible things and places and mechanics that Magic might explore in the future. Some of them have come true. A lot of them haven't. Some of them are too broken to ever really come true. One of them was Steamflogger Boss. And the important part of its text is, if a rigger you control would assemble a contraption, it assembles 2 contraptions instead. And because all of the rules text written on an actual card needs to have meaning, you know, we were even told that contraption was an artifact subtype. What does that mean? There weren't any contraptions in Future Sight, and there were no ways to assemble them, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And it really was intended to just be a joke.
It was.
And the problem is that, I think it was Mark Gottlieb, blabbed about the fact that it was supposed to be a joke, and they didn't actually plan on doing it. Well, that got people even more. People hooked into it even stronger about haranguing R&D to make contraptions work somehow in the future.
People were going insane about this, and like they had to come out literally and say, not once but twice or more, we have no intention of doing this. So then the question always became, when are you doing contraptions? When are you doing contraptions?
And eventually Mark Rosewater was like, okay, I promise you, before I retire, I will find a way to do this. So
FYI, he's not retiring now. So
yeah. So it turns out the opportunity to finally figure out how to make this joke card work was in one of their joke sets.
Go figure.
Yeah, so very poetic. So contraptions are an artifact subtype, but they don't start in your deck. You start with them in a side deck, in a contraption deck, off to the side. I can't remember what zone it's in. It's probably its own zone.
Your
Kind of like the
contraption
library
deck is not on the battlefield.
Yeah, it's probably its own zone like the library is. So the contraption deck is its own zone. And it's in a face-down pile with some restrictions. I don't know if we'll get into that. Doesn't matter. But when you assemble a contraption, you take the top card of that deck, turn it face up, and put it onto the battlefield in a very specific way. So you're supposed to have, like this is on the back of every contraption card too. There's a series of sprockets. Sprocket 1, Sprocket 2, Sprocket 3. You've probably seen graphics of this. And the sprockets are where you put your contraptions. Every time you assemble one, you assign it to a sprocket. And you put a counter on the current active sprocket just to keep track of what you're doing. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have any contraptions, then you move that counter, it's called a crank counter, to the next sprocket, the sprockets are in order 1, 2, 3, and then after 3 it cycles back to 1. And then you crank any number of contraptions that are on that sprocket. And to crank a contraption basically means to
activate it.
Activate it, even though in technical magic terms that's not what it's doing. But
basically
that's what you're doing. So each turn you move the crank, the next sprocket goes off, and all the contraptions, or however many of the contraptions under that sprocket that you want, their abilities go off.
Right. It's important to remember you can put as many contraptions on a single sprocket as you want. You can put all of them. You could have 5 all on one sprocket if you want, or you can spread them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you all pile them on one sprocket, then you're only going to get a chance at it once every 3 turns, which
right.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
So the first example they have here is a contraption called a dog snail engine.
First time I looked at this art, I just kind of glanced at it, and I thought it was like a turtle, like a shell, and I didn't look at it that closely.
Yeah, it's way more disturbing than that.
Well, this is by the all of the contraptions also have a watermark. So this is by the Crossbreed Labs. So
naturally,
yes, that's why there's a dog snail. So here's an example. It's an uncommon, and it says its ability is whenever you crank dog snail engine, target player gains life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control.
So if that's on, let's say, Sprocket 1, and it's the first one you play, the crank counter starts every game on Sprocket 3. So you play it, and then during your next upkeep, it says, oh, you have a contraption. Move the crank counter to 1. That then cranks this. You gain life, or target player gains life. And then next turn, the counter will move to Sprocket 2, etc.
Yeah.
etc.
So
really cool note about... Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Chewie.
Go ahead, Dirk. Go ahead, Steve.
Good night, Moon.
Good night. Oh, hi, Mark.
What I was going to say... I didn't do it, okay? I didn't. Anyway, a real cool note about the art. You notice that the art is not confined to the borders. Well, in one article, which I didn't throw up a link to, they actually show, it must be Mark Rose Waters, they actually show that each one of these guilds, each one of these watermark legion, whatever, factions. Has 9 contraptions, and when they are laid out, they complete a picture.
Huh.
So, yeah. You hadn't seen this? I'm going to find that link for Chewie real quick.
I don't think it was a Mark Rosewater thing, but yeah, there was an article this week.
I will locate it.
Fair enough.
Chewie, what were you going to say?
So what I was going to say is, we said this on Monday Night Magic, there's a lot of jargon involved in contraptions, but for those of you that have been playing long enough or have used Rift Bolt, think back to Suspend. There's a lot of jargon and a lot of timing involved in Suspend, but once you do it once or twice, you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, once you get it forever.
And that's pretty much what contraptions are. Reading it out, it sounds like blah, 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 but...
It is the Mark Rose.
If you actually like think about it, or if you mock it up real quick, it makes a lot of sense, and it's very to use a term that Rosewater uses, it's very grokkable.
Yes.
Okay, so what I've just provided as the link is the Mark Rosewater article from this Monday, and he says a lot. You got to go down to about the bottom 5th or so, at least the quarter of the page, and he shows you all of those. And then he said you can actually they're available as prizes, these complete pictures from in-store events December 9th and 10th. So I thought it's really neat because you go down to the Crossbreed Labs, and right there in the middle is the dog snail engine. And,
dead center.
So you could take them and assemble like a picture. I think that's pretty cool. The
that
art
is really cool.
With the lack of borders reminds me very strongly of Force of Will cards, because some of them have that same look to them.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of Marvel Universe Series 4. Old trading cards. Back in the day, Marvel Comics did trading cards, and the Series 4 was meant to be displayed in binder pages because every 9 cards was a full image.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's neat.
It was, and it looks like you said there are 9. Yeah, this works exactly the same way. These are meant to be displayed in a binder.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that because the binder pages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Neat. So that's Contraptions.
Yeah.
Again,
so be sure to move your sprocket every turn so you can crank your contraptions. You see, it's supposed to be jargony and hard to follow. That's the point.
But you only move the contraption, the counter, if you have a contraption now. And I swear again that this card back was like normal side face up before, and I was looking at it, I just could not understand it.
This is the only image that I've ever seen.
Okay. Then it was just me.
I think you were...
maybe it was just so confusing that your vision went all screwy.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I was going to say you were high at the time because, cold medicine or something. See?
I mentioned earlier there was a restriction on how to build a contraption deck. In a normal, air quotes, normal contraption deck, you can only have one ofs, and it has to be at least 15 cards.
Right.
But when you're playing limited, sealed or draft, you can just play however many copies that you get.
Right, because they don't want you to say, "Oh wow, I got 3 copies. I only got 1 contraption. I got 3 copies of it, but I've only got 1." So I think it's kind of interesting.
It is.
I wonder how many people are going to be like, "I'm going to build, a contraption deck to go with my EDH deck or whatever," as long as your group allows for it. Because that's the thing that gets me about this is it looks kind of neat, but I don't want to just play with it once and then not play with it ever again. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. And again, this is something where they're really doing a lot to explore the space of what the game might be able to do but can't currently.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a side deck in Magic, and all this made-up jargon for contraptions doesn't mean anything under the normal rules. But it might actually be possible to do something like this later.
Yeah. And then we've got one more mechanic that was actually just put up today.
Wait a minute. We did point out that all of the contraptions have a different card back, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, they all have that.
Did we point out how you actually... Oh, right. Did you point out how they actually end up being put into play?
When something tells you to assemble a contraption.
Right.
Yeah.
I sort of zoned out during this because Clues did this whole spiel on Monday Night Magic, and I didn't listen then either.
But Chewie's got a good point. You don't, without a card that specifically mentions assembling a contraption, it doesn't ever come into play. It's not something that during the normal course of the game just happens.
And also, your contraptions don't go to the graveyard; they go to another made-up place called the scrapyard, which is your discard deck for your contraption deck. It's a separate thing entirely. Oh, and I looked, and it doesn't say anything about another zone, so I think your contraption deck is its own zone.
That's probably what it is.
As the song goes, I'm in my own zone. I'm in my own zone. Anyway.
Okay. So
now I don't know what song that is.
There's one more mechanic, and it was just actually put up today. Chewie, did you want to talk about this?
That was thrown off.
Post and augment?
I didn't because I have not read this.
All right. Well, I will explain it fairly quickly. These show up on creature cards. There are creatures with the super type post, and they look like they are divided. There's a break in the box with their name in it. Between at least one word and then at least another word. And it's usually, the second word is usually some type of creature. The example here is adorable kitten, and there's a little break between the adorable and the kitten. It costs 1 white for a 1/1. It's a host creature, cat. And its game text box is also broken into 2 halves. And on the left, it says, when this creature enters the battlefield. And on the right, it says, roll a 6-sided die. You gain life equal to the result. So basically, when this comes in, roll a die, gain that much life.
Easy enough.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The reason that it's broken up like that, and it's very obvious from the art, is that it's meant to be simicked. It's meant to be combined. If you thought your sharks did not have enough bears, well, here you go. And what I love here is the customization. So then you've got augment cards. And this does not have a super type. It's just a creature, but it has the ability augment. And these cannot be played to the battlefield without a host. So the example here is Monkey. That's its name, Monkey. It's creature, Monkey. Its power and toughness are +2/+2, which is why it can't just be played to the battlefield. Its game text, I'll skip to the second part, it has the ability augment for 2 and a green. So you pay 2 and a green, reveal this card from your hand, combine it with target host, augment only as a sorcery. So if it didn't have any other abilities, you would put it on top of Adorable Kitten, and it becomes Monkey Kitten, which is now a 3/3. But because of this, it also has one other ability that says whenever a non-creature token you control dies...
A non-token creature.
Yeah, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, comma, and that doesn't do anything on its own. But when you combine it with Monkey Kitten, then this now becomes the new trigger for rolling the die and gaining life. So I believe, we haven't seen all of them, but I believe every host creature will have when this creature enters the battlefield on the left to trigger its effect so that you get it once every time. And then when you play the augment, that does something to increase the frequency with which you can get this ability. Not to mention the power and toughness boost.
Yeah, I think that's a safe assumption, because if one augment card is written in the way that that Monkey is, and we've seen one host card written in the way that the Adorable Kitten is, then they all have to be like that. Otherwise, there would be combinations that make absolutely no sense at all.
Right.
Well, they even said each host creature has an ability that triggers when it enters the battlefield.
Oh, okay.
So
I haven't had the chance to read this article completely yet.
But so you might have a Monkey Kitten, or you might have, a Shark Kitten or whatever if they print Shark. And it's really,
you think so, right?
It's really just up to your own imagination, and I love how customizable it is, and the way that the art fits together, because you literally lay the monkey half on top of the left half of Adorable Kitten. And then these are treated as one card, much like the merged cards. And then if it gets bounced, both the cards go to your hand. If they go to the graveyard, they are counted as 2 creatures in the graveyard. And it's, even though you can't play Monkey on its own, it's still considered a creature card. So Gravedigger can return it to your hand. If you use Zombify to try and return it to the battlefield on its own, it'll go to the battlefield and say, I'm an upper half of a monkey, and go back to the graveyard. So, weird, but kind of neat. This was the first mechanic that made me go, okay, I'm kind of grooving this a little bit, because even though it's maybe possible to do under the rules, it's just wacky enough that I'm like, yeah, I can dig it. So,
yeah, I really like this.
Yeah.
And this is literally the first time I've seen it, and I really like this.
Cool. Shall we move on to the card image gallery, gentlemen?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Can we start with one for Mike?
Okay. Oh, jeez.
Mike, you know what it is, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
yes,
go for it.
I saw it, and I'm like, Mike.
This, if Mike and I are on the same wavelength, and I think we are, this is one that Judge Cass got to reveal. So Prilliman was all bragging to me that he got a preview card.
And there's even going to be a special Judge promo version of it.
Yeah, which is why they had
really.
Yeah.
That's cool. Most words ever, which is funny because a lot of it is reminder text.
Yeah. Okay. Rules lawyer. For 3 white, it's a 1/1 artifact creature, a cyborg advisor, and it's rare, and it's from the Order of the Widget. Is that what that mark is?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I almost don't even want to read this sentence out loud. State-based actions don't apply to you or other permanents you control.
So I have a question.
Oh,
How
God.
do you lose the game if you don't? If Mike has Rules Lawyer out and I can't bounce it or exile it, how do I win the game?
You have to use a card that specifically says you win the game or someone else loses the game.
That's
Or
what I
you have
thought.
to kill the rules lawyer.
Yeah, but if you can't bounce it or exile it, good luck.
Yeah. So Brian mentioned reminder text. Let's see if I can run through this quickly. Here's the reminder text. You don't lose the game due to having 0 or less life or drawing from an empty library. Your creatures aren't destroyed due to damage or death touch and aren't put into a graveyard due to having 0 or less toughness. Your planeswalkers aren't put into a graveyard if they have 0 loyalty. You don't put a legendary permanent into a graveyard if you control 2 with the same name. Counters aren't removed from your permanents due to game rules. Permanents you control attached or combined illegally remain on the battlefield. For complete rules and regulations, see Rule 704.
Yeah.
The implications of this ability are
Dumb.
mind-boggling. You will not realize how screwy the game is when you stop applying state-based actions to things that you do.
At first, I was like, "Oh, thank God, it's just a 1/1," and then I'm like, "You can't kill it. It doesn't. You can't. If you put a -1/-1 counter on it, so what? If you deal,
It says
3,
other permanents you control.
Oh, other permanents. Oh,
If you have
thank
two
God.
if you have 2 rules lawyers, okay, problems.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. So it's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Thank you, Mike. I feel
Makes my
better now.
head hurt.
Yeah, they pointed out to me that it said other on Monday Night Magic because I said they really missed a trick by not making this a 1/0. But it says other.
Mhm.
But destroy effects will still kill a creature, right?
They will.
Okay, good.
That's not one of the state-based actions.
I didn't
that's
think
just
so.
That's just an effect telling you, hey, destroy that. And you say, okay.
Yeah, the running joke for judges for years has been that damage doesn't kill creatures. State-based actions kill creatures, which means by default, the rules manager kills creatures.
That murderer.
Yeah. At the time that I first heard this, it was Matt Tabak. And
Ironically,
Matt Tabak kills creatures.
Ironically, terror cannot kill a rules lawyer.
Because it's an
It's
artifact.
an artifact.
Yeah. Alrighty then.
But yeah, so something that the game is really not allowed to do.
Yeah. This is one. There's some here that you might go, okay, I can see them printing this. This is one that we'll never see print with a black border ever. You can quote me on that now. Ever.
All right. Okay, wait. I wanna just pick one and read it. How about that?
Okay. Go right ahead.
Well, I guess we'll stay in white. Okay, this has the best name, so I'm gonna read it. The Do-It-Yourself Seraph.
Yeah.
For 4 white, it's a cyborg angel. Ooh. It's mythic. It's a 4/4 with flying. Whenever Do-It-Yourself Seraph attacks, you may search your library for an artifact card, exile it, then shuffle your library. Do-It-Yourself Seraph has the text box of each card exiled with Do-It-Yourself Seraph in addition to its own. Oh. Okay, that's not as weird as I thought. That's actually probably something that could be done.
Yeah, I didn't think this one was too far out of the realm of reality. I mean, it's stupid. Like, hey, Wormcoil Engine.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, similar things have been done before with like Necrotic Ooze and Marisol the Pretender or whatnot. But
this feels very much like,
adding an entire text box can get screwy.
Yeah, and especially if you do it more than once. This feels like super duper imprint. But is it within the rules to do it? It's probably pretty close.
Neat.
Yeah, I think this might be a card that'll actually work in a normal game under normal rules.
Yeah. Okay, then. Well, let's read something else.
Okay. Hey, Dirk, is there one that you're interested in white or somewhere thereby? Or green?
I'm just going to go ahead and move over and do the next one.
Okay.
So, by gnome means. For 2 and a white, it's a rare enchantment. For 1 and a white, remove a counter from a permanent you control. Create a 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature token. Also have, for 1 and a white, sacrifice an artifact. Choose any kind of counter a printed card refers to, then put one of that counter on target permanent.
So by printed card, it doesn't mean a card on the battlefield. It means a printed card anywhere. So if it is a type of counter that exists on a printed Magic card.
So that means you could put one on a sprocket, whatever it is.
Yeah, you could put a crank counter on something.
A crank counter, that's what it is.
You want?
Wow, you could put a loyalty counter on anything.
On anything, it makes sense to do it on a Planeswalker, but you could put a loyalty counter on your Oblivion Stone because you want it to be loyal.
Wow, there's all kinds of bizarre counters.
You're not done yet, Dark. What's the flavor text?
There's no race like gnome.
Oh, God. That's terrible. That is terrible. Oh, God. All right, episode's done. Good night, everybody.
That is, in fact, racist.
There's no race like gnome. There's no race like gnome. I hate you, Dorothy.
Yeah, you do. All right, let's keep going. Jack Knight. It's like Jackknife. See? Get it? Ha. For 1 and a white, it's an artifact creature Cyborg Knight. It's a 1/1 rare. Whenever another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Jack Knight. If that artifact is a contraption, Jack Knight gains lifelink till end of turn. Which is why contraptions actually do enter the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
My sword is at your service, as are my scissors, corkscrew, and bottle opener.
And my axe. I saw a picture on the internet of Jack Knight's art, and next to it was Gizmo Duck, and now I can't unsee it.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, now oh, wow, good job.
See, I would think Inspector Gadget.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
But he's pretty straightforward, but feels for the purposes of like actually winning a game, fairly strong for this environment because there's a lot of artifacts. So yeah. Okay. Next.
I mean,
and if you want to skip around, we can.
Yeah, let's. Most of these are kind of boring. Well, here's an example of one: the midlife upgrade. For 3 and a white, it's a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast midlife upgrade, sacrifice X contraptions. And then it says assemble X +1 contraptions.
Yeah.
So,
and see this?
Yeah, you could either just pay 4 mana to assemble a contraption, or you can pay 4 mana, sack a contraption to assemble 2.
Yeah.
Or whatnot. So it's a neat little card that doesn't require you to have found another thing to assemble a contraption.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of these reasons why I wanted to mention that you get to choose which, is it sprocket that where you put it. Sprocket that you put your contraptions, because you might hear, if you know what is left in your contraption deck, you might sack the 3 you've got on the battlefield to get 4 and put them all on whichever sprocket's coming next to up and win the game next turn. If that next turn and those contraptions are all you're going to need, instead of spreading them out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
Yeah, dude, Steamflogger Boss is broken.
A little bit. Yeah.
Steamflogger Boss, remember, it's just if a rigger you control would assemble a contraption.
Oh, that's true.
Then it assembles 2 instead.
Yeah.
Midlife upgrade, the way it's written, you're doing it.
Right.
But other creatures, like for example, the Aster, here's one. The Aerial Toastmaster, it's for 3 and a white, it's 3/2 with flying. It's a cyborg rigger, it's uncommon. It has an ability, pay 3 and a white, sacrifice another artifact. Aerial Toastmaster assembles a contraption.
Oh, okay.
So that's something that the Steamflogger Boss would affect.
Dude, Steamflogger Boss is broken. Okay, then. Well, let's go to blue, then, since we actually managed to hit all the white cards.
Okay.
Mind you, this is only the cards that are in the card image gallery right now, as of this recording, dear listeners. So calm down.
Thursday, November 16th.
Here's kind of a quick card.
Spoilers.
Somebody want to tell me what is the internet's obsession with Stormcrow? I just
I don't get it.
It became a thing.
It's one of the best cards in Alliances. Pitch it to Force of Will.
I guess.
That's
But
the
it's-
joke.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
being serious.
somewhere along the line, people were like, yeah, Stormcrow's amazing. So now we have Crow Storm for 2 and a blue. It's a sorcery. It's an uncommon. And it creates a 1/2 bird creature token with flying named Stormcrow, which is exactly what the original Stormcrow does. And it has Storm. So
Beautiful.
Storm Crow Lonely, boon for a birder. Storm crows together, likely a murder.
It's a cute little poem.
Okay.
I get a kick out of Insight.
It is a great name.
So Insight is X and two blue is a rare sorcery. Assemble X contraptions. So whatever you put into X, that's how many contraptions you get.
Pretty straightforward. But
So the flavor text: after 100 failed patent applications, Cornelian was stunned to find that no one had ever created a steam-powered autonomous ice cream delivery system. He immediately designed a gnome with scoops for hands.
There's no race like gnome. Oh God, now I'm doing it.
yeah. But, I think if you even if you need to go ahead and get your contraption started, just play this on turn 3. That's fine. But then obviously when X becomes 2 or 3, then you're really talking. So the thought of a contraption going off, cranking every turn seems really good. I mean, it's a free effect, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
What?
All right, I'm taking this one. More or less.
I've had a feeling that's what it was.
For a single blue, it's an uncommon instant that says add or subtract 1, the number, or 1, the word, O-N-E, from a number or number word on target spell or permanent until end of turn. Wow.
That's so wide open.
That's insane. But the best part is the flavor text. Why was 5 afraid of 6? Because 6, 7, 8. Huh?
That's Sam's favorite joke right now. The real joke is like she thinks that no one's ever heard it before.
That's awesome.
So your new achievement to unlock in Unstable Draft, or even Sealed, is to get 5 of these. Cast 1 and use the other 4 to fix the joke in the flavor text. I'm sorry, 6. You need 6. Cast 1 and use the other 5 to fix the joke in the flavor text.
So you can use this to reduce power and toughness, correct?
Yes, you can. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And we lost Chewie.
I'm sorry. Mike's whole thing there.
Quick, Mike, name another card.
Okay.
I gotta mute.
Let's see. The blue cards are okay, I guess. Let's just go. So, capital offense. I like it because here's where you get, they take the opportunity to make jokes with the formatting on the card.
This to me felt like an uncard.
Yes,
just from the editing.
Same here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's just read the card first. So capital offense costs 2 and 2 black. It's an instant. It's common. Target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of times a capital letter appears in its rules text. And reminds you, ignore reminder text and flavor text. The flavor text is part basket case, all lowercase. But there are no capital letters anywhere on this card. Okay.
Yes.
In the artist credit, there is. And in the copyright information.
But
because I guess the lawyers are killjoys. But
the name is all lowercase. The I in instant is lowercase. Target is it's
the
kind
X
of jarring.
is -X.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
But this card also makes me giggle. Not like cry laughing like casting 6. Oh, here I go again.
Okay. Man. All right. Well, if we're going to jump around a little bit and more or less stick to the same color, I'm going to name a card. There's a couple cards in black that I actually thought were really, really interesting.
Okay, sorry.
And I almost want to talk about Hangman because it's cool, but I have to talk about Summon the Pack because I was the Booster Tutor guy. I was like, this is the best card ever. So Summon the Pack is like Booster Tutor on steroids for 7 and a black. It is a mythic sorcery. So yes, this set does have mythics. Oh wait, we did see the angel. You open a sealed magic booster pack, reveal the cards, and put all creature cards revealed this way onto the battlefield under your control. They're zombies in addition to their other types. And you remove those cards from your deck before beginning a new game. And of course, the non-creature cards don't get referenced at all, so they just never enter the game.
Yeah. Pro tip, grab a pack of legions.
Yeah, that's pretty good because you're going to get 15 creatures. They weren't even putting lands back in the booster at that point. Or you can risk it. Real men use alliances.
You might get Stormcrow. Oh my god.
Might get more than one. So I just thought that was awesome.
That is pretty great. I gotta give you that one. Oh well, Stormcrow did first appear in alliances. I forgot about that.
So, Dark, is there one in black or another one in blue that was interesting to you?
The one that made me go, that since Chewie has been laughing at more or less, was Squirrel Powered Scheme. For 2 and a black, it's an enchantment that's uncommon. Increase the results of each die you roll by 2.
That's pretty
so
good.
Have to go with the add or subtract 1 and all that. I just think that's funny that you could do that to change all the die rolls and everything.
Lucinda didn't know which she enjoyed most. The science, the squirrels, or the maniacal laughter.
I'm digging the, evil squirrels in the set.
Yeah, dude, the squirrels just, screw with dice rolls? Because Snickering Squirrel above is a 1/1 for 1 that says you may tap Snickering Squirrel to increase the result of a die any player rolled by 1.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Or maybe that's something that the League of Dastardly Doom does.
Oh, that could be.
Die rolls.
Because the Earl of Squirrel doesn't reference dice, so...
Right.
And he's in green, so...
But in this line of work, you've got to know how to squirrel things away. Quite literally, in my case.
Oh my god. I'm not gonna make it, you guys. I'm not gonna make it.
What you got, Mike?
I was gonna go back and talk about Hangman since it seems more like the classic uncard that we're used to.
Yeah, it is.
So the Hangman for a single black is a human villain, and he's rare. As Hangman enters the battlefield, secretly note a word with 6 to 8 letters. Did I say it was a 1/1? Maybe.
You didn't, but it is.
Okay. So it has an activated ability. Pay 1. Target player who doesn't control Hangman guesses the noted word or an unguessed letter in that word. If he or she guesses wrong, put a +1/+1 counter on Hangman. Any player may activate this ability. And then its last ability, when a player guesses the noted word or all of its letters, sacrifice Hangman.
It makes you play a game of Hangman. And if you haven't had the pleasure of playing Hangman, you ever been to class when the teacher literally had nothing to do? It was like the end of term. And they're just at the front and they're just drawing the little thing. Yeah. Played more Hangman in class with a teacher than anywhere else, I think. Did anybody else have that experience?
You must have been taking AP classes.
Yeah. But it's cool.
Yeah, that is pretty great. And so in Hangman, you draw a body part each time you guess wrong. But in this one, the hangman gets bigger, and which means the hangman will probably end up killing you. Yeah, that's pretty great.
I wonder if the correct response to the opponent playing one is to just not play the game because it's a 1-1, you know?
Well, the controller of Hangman can still activate the ability.
Nope.
They just can't guess.
Target player who
Doesn't control Hangman.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
you can target. Okay, so you can make people play the game. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I see. Aha. Okay. All right.
We're going all in on hangman.
Well,
Turn 1,
Next.
hangman. Jot down a word. Turn 2, pay a mana. Pay another mana. Swing for 3.
So what you do is target the player who's not paying attention. Go, pick a letter. A.
I like how it does say when a player
A's been
guesses.
picked 5 times, you know.
I like how it does say one of the conditions for sacrificing it is when someone has guessed all of its letters. So they're not going to say, "Well, you're not pronouncing that correctly. That's not the right word." You know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
All right. So next up, we have the final entry in the vaunted cycle. In Unglued, we had Timmy Power Gamer. In Unhinged, we had Johnny. I don't remember Johnny's title exactly. Johnny something.
Combo. Was it just combo player?
Yeah, combo player, I think.
Yeah.
Johnny Combo Player. And here, everybody was like, they're going to make Spike, and they sure did. Spike, Tournament Grinder. And this is just perfect. It's perfect. Why is it perfect? The others all cost 4, correct? So, Spike costs 4, but not really. It's a legendary creature, human gamer, a 1/1, and it costs 2 and 2 Phyrexian black mana, which is perfect because not only does that mean you quote unquote get to cheat with this, but everybody acknowledges that Phyrexian mana was literally a mistake. It was just too good. And so you can pay either 2 and 2 black or 2 and 2 life and a black, etc., etc. Again, as a reminder, a Phyrexian black mana can be paid with either a black mana or 2 life. So you can just skip out on this. So you can even play this on turn 2. It's got an activated ability, 4 Phyrexian black mana. Choose a card you own from outside the game that has been banned or restricted in a constructed format. Reveal that card and put it into your hand, which just feels so wrong. The flavor text is, just wait, I have a response. And on her shirt, if you look at it, is the word nope, which I love.
With a big blue mana symbol in the O.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, of course,
The is it MTG Pro Shop? Is that what it's called?
I think, maybe. Yes, that is what it's called.
But
maybe. This page loads.
Oh, here we go.
So,
Aaron Forsyth tweeted, "Are you guys selling the shirt that Spike Tournament Grinder is wearing?" And he answered, "Nope." And then someone else said, "Hey, Legion Supplies, get on that." And MTG Pro Shop replied with, "Approved, officially licensed shirt available soon."
yeah. It's perfect because blue players already have the reputation just by playing blue of being control players and permission players, which are generally, I think most Magic players, when they've been playing for a while, have a more open opinion about this. But generally speaking, those people are it's harder to love than everybody else. Let's put it that way, because more universally reviled. But there's the association of, oh, you play competitively, you must, or you play to win. Blue is one of the go-to colors because it's one of the only ones that lets you say you don't get to do what you want to do while I do. So, and what I love here is the Phyrexian mana. If you want to go all in, we don't have to bleep the words balls deep, do we? I don't think so. Because just
that sounds like something I would say.
Because all right, if you are like it's go time, if you've got 12 life on turn 2,
Time's up. Let's do this.
Turn 2. Pay 4 life to put her in. Pay 8 life to activate and go get your Black Lotus or whatever, and just be like, we're doing this thing. Then I love it. I love it. I think it's really cool. It's a perfect
guys,
embodiment.
let's do this.
It's a perfect embodiment of what I think Spike, how Spike is perceived.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's an extremely spiky card.
Yeah.
Good lord. And of course, the elephant in the room is that the art is a female player.
Oh no.
Yeah, and apparently nerds of the world can't handle this. Some of them, not all of you. Most of you are, right-thinking individuals, but some people just can't handle that Spike is a female. If you would like our opinion on this, please refer back to the Nerd Rage episode.
Yeah. This is actually very timely. Especially when in that episode we talk about privilege and we talk about senses of ownership and how people, want to be able to dictate and see a game through their own lens.
Yeah.
But where it's unhealthy is when that's to the exclusion of other people.
And also, since Timmy and Johnny were printed, Mark Rosewater, when he talks about the player psychographics, he's decided to expand the names a bit more. So now it's Timmy and Tammy for one of the psychographics, Johnny and Jenny for the other one. But Spike could be anybody, so Spike is just Spike.
Yeah.
In fact, Megan and Casey have a cat named Spike. Spike is a girl. I'm just saying. And she's adorable and she squeaks. She doesn't meow. She's like, eh. It's so cute. I might die just thinking about it. But anyway.
Yeah.
I see a great card.
Oh yeah, which one?
Party Crasher.
Anything else we wanted to say about Spike? I think
Spike is awesome.
Spike is awesome.
I wonder, let's see, the way it's worded, it doesn't have to be currently banned or restricted. So
is a card.
So you could find one of those. You could find one of those weird things we mentioned in one of our episodes with Lansdale that was restricted or banned and then brought back. You can go find one of those.
But Dark Ritual's
that
fine.
Has been banned. Yeah. I got a question for a rules question for Mike, which sounds weird for an unset, but a card that has been in a format and has been rotated out is not considered banned, correct?
No. Yeah, that's not banned. No.
So I can't go grab a Chroma Angel of Wrath because I'm playing Standard.
Yeah, you can't get a Chroma because
she was never.
You can't
banned.
say I can get a Chroma because it's not legal in Standard. Well,
right.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Exactly. Trying to draw the difference between illegality.
But you could grab a Grizzlebrand because he's been banned in Commander.
Correct.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Or any of the Eldrazi. Because Emrakul. Yeah, any of the Eldrazi have been banned in all the old Eldrazi.
In a constructed format.
No, just Emrakul.
Yeah, just Emrakul.
Just Emrakul.
Yeah. But it doesn't even have to be the constructed format you're playing.
Right.
So, and Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, and Emrakul, The Promised End were both banned in various formats. So,
yeah, like you could go get a Thawing Glaciers because it was banned in Ice Age Block Constructed.
Oh my god, you could go get an anti-card.
You can.
You probably couldn't use it.
You can.
Well,
no, I think there was a question about that Matt Tabak answers. Like, that's whether or not an anti-card is part of the game depends on which set of rules you want to play by. Like, anti-cards can't be played in constructed formats because anti isn't an official part of the rules of the game.
Oh, okay.
And it might actually be illegal in certain places.
Well, I didn't say you could use it, but you could go get it, maybe.
Maybe. I can go get a Bloodbraid Elf. It's banned in Modern.
Yeah.
I can get a Jace the Mind Sculptor. Now I just have to go to the store and get one.
Yeah, first you'd have to own one, though. Nice. There is one more black card I want to mention because it's great. And it's the extremely slow zombie. For 1 and a black, it's a common 3/3 zombie creature. So 3/3 for 2 is awesome. But it has an ability called Last Strike. This creature, the reminder text, this creature deals combat damage after creatures without last strike. So it's exactly what you think. It's the opposite of first strike.
Yeah.
First strike happens, and then normal combat happens, and then last strike happens.
Somebody on the blog at Talk actually asked, could this not be a real thing? And he's like, we're not doing it. It's just, it's not, I think it came down to it's just not necessary.
True, but it's what we have been using to describe, we talked about this in the odds and ends, the mammoth harness and spitting slug.
Yeah.
Essentially what it does is, or what they do is give something, or in the case of spitting slug itself, last strike. Yeah. Because if you say that, people go, oh, and they understand.
Yeah. Flavor text?
Flavor text is...
So if we're going for flavor text with some great lines, finders keepers.
Finders, comma, keepers. Because isn't there a finders keepers card? I thought there was a
Fools and Gatherer.
I thought there was a finders keepers, and they had to throw this comma in here. I guess not. I'm making up a card that doesn't exist. I thought they had to throw the comma in there to differentiate it. But okay, so finders keepers.
So for 5 and a black, it's a common sorcery. Destroy target creature, then assemble a contraption, blah, 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 blah. The flavor text says, the sneak code clearly permits looting corpses for parts. That just meant Agent 47.3 had to make sure her target was dead first.
Brian?
Yeah.
It's a shaman card in Hearthstone. Finders Keepers.
Yeah. See, that Hearthstone tripping me up again.
But yeah,
Cool.
I do like that flavor text. It's a nice little look into how, what are they called? The agents of sneak?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How they work. It's kind of nice. So, okay. So Dirk wanted to talk about Party Crasher.
So Party Crashers is a 4, it costs 4 and a red. It's a uncommon goblin berserker. And he has like a gigantic toucan nose.
And a chainsaw. I like how you focused on the nose.
So he's a 3/3 that has haste. You can attack with Party Crasher once each combat during each opponent's turn.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And his flavor text says, no rest, no mercy, no reservation.
I'm sorry, sir. You're not on the list, sir.
Table for one.
That's a play on the Chroma's flavor text, right?
I'm pretty sure.
No rest, no mercy, no matter what. Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I do think this funny is like, I'm going to attack this and this and this, and you just go, and I'm going to attack this guy. Hey, Mike, you attacked with all your guys. Here, Party Crasher's coming your way.
Yeah, I like the way this doesn't do much in a one-on-one game.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
In a multiplayer game, he's great.
Yeah, because you can't attack your opponent during their turn, right?
To unrules.
I can't remember exactly what the real rules say.
I mean, I think, if your opponent was getting control of this, kind of like Corona False God, then it couldn't attack its controller. But this doesn't switch control.
Yeah, you're still attacking with it. You're just doing it on their turn. Maybe you could attack your opponent during their turn.
But you know what this doesn't say is vigilance.
Yeah, so it has to be untapped to do it.
Well, yeah. So you don't attack during your turn, you attack during their turn. Huh.
Yeah, I can't remember enough about the exact technical rules of what the real rules say about declaring attacks and the attacking and defending player and whatnot to know whether you'd be able to attack the person whose turn it is. I'm sure it'll be in the FAQ.
Yeah. That's one where I think we're just going to see where it comes out. Okay?
Neat. Oh my god, I just saw Three-Headed Goblin.
Go ahead.
The Three-Headed Goblin is a 3/3 for 3 and 2 red, is a goblin mutant, is rare, and has triple strike. So it does first strike damage, regular damage, and last strike damage. That's awesome.
Yeah.
On the flavor text, it's true. The 2 heads are better than 1. But after that, you run into diminishing returns. Wow, that's pretty great. Okay, then. Nice and simple, but still brilliant. What's next?
Here's
Well,
something
Mike.
great.
Yeah, are you going to take it? Go ahead and take it.
Yeah. So the art, you'll come to recognize this character from some other cards. It's Baron von Count, and he's one of the big villains in the League of Dastardly Doom. And the card is the countdown is at 1. For 3 red, it's a rare sorcery. Players play a magic sub-game, starting at 1 life, and using their libraries as their decks. For the rest of the main game, if a source would deal damage to a player who didn't win the sub-game, it deals double that damage to the player instead.
Holy crap, that's insane.
It's great.
So just as a reminder, when I play the countdown is at 1 and we start a sub game, do we set aside our normal stuff?
Yeah, you just leave it where it is. Mm-hmm.
And start a new game?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's at 1.
Everybody's at 1.
And you're in red.
Yeah, I was just about to say, and you're playing red, so...
And then when you win that game, your opponent's basically...
when that game's over, you go back to the main game.
But anyone that didn't win is under a Furnace of Wrath effect.
Mm-hmm.
To that player, not to their permanence.
Right.
But
right.
High stakes.
Yeah,
I don't really
that's
have
pretty
anything
good.
to say. You just don't want to lose that sub game.
Yeah, that's way better than what is
Shahrazad?
Shahrazad draw some cards.
No, Shahrazad is anyone who lost loses half their life. Right?
Oh, half their life.
Yeah.
Okay. What was Enter the Dungeon? What did you do for that?
Play the game under the table,
5
right?
life.
Enter the
Losers lose 5 life.
Enter the Dungeon. Starting at 5 life using their libraries
Oh,
as their
starting
decks.
at 5.
After the sub-game ends, the winner searches his or her library for 2 cards, put those cards into his or her hand, and shuffles their library. Yeah, see, that's pretty good. But I like the permanent damage doubling to your face. I like that a lot more. Nice. Okay, then. Shall we continue?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's talk about riggers. And Steam Flugger Boss is in the set. But we've also got...
only black bordered card in the set.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually on the land sheet.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So, but here we've got Steam Flogger of the Month. For 3 and 2 red, he's a 3/3 Goblin Rigger. So he likes the Steam Flogger Boss. When he enters the battlefield, it assembles a contraption for each contraption you control. So
That's really good.
So if you got 2, you get 2 more. Seems pretty, yeah. And the flavor text is, the perks aren't great.
Yeah, the Steam Flogger of the Month, instead of having his picture put up on the wall, he's actually been pinned to the wall, and people have already started throwing tomatoes at him.
The perks aren't great.
Pretty straightforward, though. You get it.
Yeah. That's really good, though.
Yeah.
You just double your number of contraptions.
Speaking of double, well, just real quick.
Toil and
Work
trouble?
work a double. For 2 and 2 red, it's a sorcery. Assemble 2 contraptions. Seems pretty good. And it's got a picture of a big goblin holding some nails in one hand, getting ready to hammer them, and on the other hand, he's holding a hammer that is strapped to the head of a smaller goblin who also has a hammer. Ig and Burf discovered the technique by accident when Burf reached for his hammer and missed. So, Dirk, you have to read Earl of Squirrel. You must.
He's so
The
proper.
Earl.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Wig and all.
Yeah.
So the Earl of Squirrel. For 4 and 2 green, it's a rare squirrel advisor. He has 4/4, or is a 4/4 with squirrel link, which has a reminder text. Damage dealt by this creature also causes you to create that many or those many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens.
Oh man!
Oh my gosh!
But they're not 1/1s.
No. Creature tokens you control are squirrels in addition to their other creature types. Other squirrels you control get +1/+1.
This is, I mean, even I.
Like this will get out of hand real fast.
Immediately.
Yeah, if he manages to swing, deal damage, and survive, then the snowball just goes forever. Like, there's no coming back from that.
The snakes were bad.
Well, I like how this combos with every other token deck, though.
Oh yeah, literally because they're all squirrels now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's the incremental, the token incremental one, where you get like a 1/1, a 2/2, and a 3/3.
Right.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Incremental dudes, but that's not what it's called.
That's what we called it, but
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it had incremental in the name.
It's not called Cone of Dudes either.
Anyway, so yes, obviously this combos. See, now I'm picturing the dog cone that you put on a dog so it doesn't scratch itself on a squirrel. And we're gonna lose Chewie again. Right. Mike, you need to tell us about Ineffable Blessing.
Oh, do I?
Because it's got lots of words on it. So
it does. So Ineffable Blessing has some truly ridiculous art. It costs 1 and a green for a rare enchantment. As Ineffable Blessing enters the battlefield, choose flavorful or bland. So those are the anchor words, and it has 2 different bullet points. So for flavorful, whenever a creature with flavor text enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. For bland, whenever a creature without flavor text enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Hallowed be this assemblage of various stuff.
They've just got some crazy stuff on. The lead guy has a traffic cone on his head, and he's addressing is that a gramophone? Is that just a record player? Or, and then the other guy's got a no U-turn symbol. And what is that over his head?
It's a lampshade on his head?
Lampshade? Yeah.
All right, then.
Chewie, have you read Slaying Mantis?
Slaying Mantis. Yes. I did see this one.
Okay.
Should I read it?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, describe the art before you read it.
Okay, so the art has a luchador mask wearing praying mantis about to drop the elbow from the turnbuckle onto some goblins that are also wearing luchador masks. Okay, were we good with that?
Yes. Wonderful.
Okay. Hopefully everyone knows what I mean, because he's dropping the elbow from the top of the ropes. Okay. For 5 green, he's an uncommon 6/6 insect wrestler. And he has the I guess that's an ability word, right? Or a keyword.
Sounds like keyword. I guess split second is a keyword, right?
Yeah, he has the keyword just a second. And just a second reads, as long as this spell is on the stack, players can't move cards on the battlefield. Okay?
Yeah.
Got it. So as soon as someone says Slaying Mantis, it's too late. All of your cards are where they are. Got it? Okay. Why is that important? Well, I'll tell you. Slaying Mantis enters the battlefield by being thrown from a distance of at least 3 feet.
Yeah.
When Slaying Mantis enters the battlefield, it fights each creature an opponent controls that it touched as it entered. So it runs in with a chair and starts braining everyone inside.
You smell what the mantis is cooking.
And your opponent is like, but I was gonna. It doesn't matter what you were gonna.
And no touching him, no moving him out of the way. And I swear,
this is a classic undesign.
It is.
If you put your lands in front of your creatures, you deserve what's coming to you. So I'm going to be aiming this thing at your face.
You're going to drop the people's elbow on them.
It fights each creature an opponent controls. So it's probably going to die, but if your aim is good, you can wipe his freaking board.
Yeah.
Or at least take out the important things.
Yeah. But your aim has to be good because 3 feet. Dude, 3 feet, that's no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is definitely a run-in from outside the ring.
You got to say Nacho Libre when you do it, too.
I was thinking you gotta say, oh my god, it's the slaying mantis! He's breaking everyone in half! Oh, the humanity!
All right.
Oh, that's a good card. I like that card. Wasn't I the one that hated uncards, and I'm the one that's lost my mind laughing my ass off like 3 times this episode?
Yes.
To be fair, most of those laughs are at you guys.
Let's keep moving before Dirk falls asleep.
All right. Should we jump down to the gold cards?
Let's do the gold cards. There's 4 gold cards.
Because these are sick. Or at least the 2 I've read are sick.
What's one of the ones that you've read?
I read the Calcutron and Griselda.
Why don't you read the Grand Calcutron?
So the Grand Calcutron is really funny because Robo Rosewater from Twitter got to preview it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Huh. Robo Rosewater is a Twitter account that uses neural networks of varying degrees of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Varying degrees of intelligence? That's not the right word, but there are, 4, I think, neural networks that just create magic cards based on the rules of magic.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are insane and would never be insane as in written by someone that has lost their damn mind. And some of them are actually plausible as magic cards. And it seems like Bill gets the most responses on Twitter when he responds to a Robo Rosewater card. He's not sure how that works. But anyway, the Grand Calcutron for a white and a blue is a mythic legendary artifact. Okay, when the Grand Calcutron enters the battlefield, each player's hand becomes a program, an ordered row of revealed cards. Okay? Players can only play the first card of their program. If a card would be put into a player's hand from anywhere, that player reveals it and places it anywhere within his or her program instead. And at the beginning of each player's end step, if that player's program has fewer than 5 cards, he or she draws cards equal to the difference.
So now, when Chewie says, I'm playing the Grand Calcutron, before it enters the battlefield, I can rearrange the order of cards in my hand, right?
Yeah.
But
because it says when it enters the battlefield.
But once that...
I mean, you can even start rearranging them before the triggered ability resolves.
Right. But once the ability resolves, that's it. Once they're on the once they're face down as a program, face up as a program, you can't rearrange the order.
Correct.
Right.
So you got to be thinking, because this costs 2.
Yeah.
2. You've got that could seriously screw you over. You have to think very, very hard about, all right, what order am I going to play my lands in? If you are thinking, all right, I'm going to play this card if I get a land and this card if I don't, you've got to be thinking about that, because if you space them too far apart, you're not going to have a choice. This, I think, is really actually very interesting. And it's a card I kind of want to play with, like just to see people's reaction. They might hate me for it, but I think it's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a neat effect.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure you organize your cards in the right order.
Yep. I do like how when you draw a new card, you can put anywhere you want. That's pretty important.
Yeah.
So
Now, it doesn't say anything like you can only play the first card of your program and only one each turn.
Mhm.
Like,
no, but
as long as you have the ability, you can play multiple cards, Like if
But
you
you-
put a land first, you can play that land and then cast a spell,
yeah.
So
but
long
you
as that's
have
the next card.
But you have to play them in that order. That's
Yeah.
important. And especially when you can play this early and people still have a lot of cards in their hand, not to mention it refills your cards. That can be important. So, all right, well, I'll take the Baron von Count. Baron von Count was referenced earlier on the countdown is at 1. For 1, a black, and a red. To 3/3 human villain, legendary.
Human villain. I just like that for some reason.
We gotta
Human
clarify.
Baron von Count enters the battlefield with a Doom counter on 5. Whenever you cast a spell with the indicated numeral in its mana cost, text box, power, or toughness, move the Doom counter 1 numeral to the left. So to 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's referencing numbers in the art of the card.
Right.
Oh, okay, look at that.
When the Doom counter moves from 1, destroy target player
Yeah.
and put that Doom counter on 5.
That is hilarious.
The countdown is at 1. I don't.
Wait a minute. Mana cost, text box, power, or toughness. Flavor text doesn't count, right?
That's not clear.
It isn't.
In Unland, some flavor text does. I know it did for several unhinged cards.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Well, because in that case, oh wait, no, more or less only has 5 and 1. Okay, never mind.
So, at the Baron's card, his mana cost would be 3, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And he's a 3/3. So if you were for some reason to play another copy, he would trigger for 3.
3.
He would also
Or-
counter for
Or 1 or 5.
or 1 or 5.
Mhm.
Yes. The Grand Calculatron would count for 5.
Why?
Because it says fewer than 5 cards.
Yes.
Oh. So
Yeah.
that's me in numeral?
So you have got to read all of these
Oh wait,
cards
no,
that
it says
read
indicated
numbers.
numeral.
Numeral. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
that
So
wouldn't
it has
count.
to be the actual numeral. Very good to know.
Yeah. So yeah, remember more or less specifies either
One,
like the
number
numeral 1 or the
and
word
the word 1.
So it
Ah,
works slightly
okay.
differently, yeah.
But anything that makes a token, if the token has a power or toughness equal to the reference number, then that would count, correct?
No, because you're not casting. It says whenever you cast a spell with the indicated numeral. Oh wait,
Right.
never mind. Dirt.
Yeah,
Because the text of the spell has to tell you what the characteristics of the token are.
Yeah.
correct. So if I cast raise the
I'm
alarm
not
while
going to tell
while-
you how big this squirrel is.
if I cast raise the alarm while the counter's on 1, it will trigger.
You can be like, you,
Yeah.
boom.
So
This is a weird
Well-
ass card, and it makes my head hurt, but it's really funny.
Well, I'll go with Griselda,
Oh god.
Monster Masher.
feels a lot like build your own mimeoplasm a little bit.
The Monster
Kinda.
Mash.
Dude, it was a graveyard smash. Should have been there, man.
So for 3 black, red, legendary creature, zombie villain that's rare and is a 4/4. Combined, enchanted, and equipped creatures you control have menace. For 3 black, red, tap, put 2 target creature cards from a graveyard onto the battlefield combined into 1 creature under your control. Its power is equal to the total power, its toughness is equal to the total toughness, and it has their names, mana cost, types, text box, etc.
Oh my god, it says from graveyards.
Yes.
It doesn't say from your graveyard.
Nope.
Oh my god.
Yep. And she gives it menace because it needs it.
Clearly. Okay, so
You know what we have to do, right? I'm going to need one of you to give me a dragon and one of you to give me a vampire.
Oh, God.
This is going to be awesome.
Okay, let's go basic. Singer vampire.
And Glorybringer, yes.
Oh, God.
We are bad people.
So, so the name will be Singer Vampire Glorybringer.
Yes.
And there'll be an 8/8 with flying.
And flying.
Hey,
And menace and flying and all those things that they do. And when it shoots a creature, it's going to give you that creature, assuming the creature died, which it almost certainly... No, it doesn't give you the
Wait,
creature,
no,
but
Singer Vampire.
but it will get bigger.
yes.
Ugh.
Dude, that's awesome.
You can do weird, crazy things with this. We could literally spend an episode talking about all the weird things you could do.
Yeah.
It's like mimeoplasm, but instead of just getting the counters, you get the whole thing from one of the creatures.
Okay, then. So there's only one multicolored card left. Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Tell us about that one.
So, Mario Kill costs 5 and a black-red hybrid. So, a total of 6 mana. For a 5/5 legendary human villain, rare. And it has an ability. Pay 1 and a black-red hybrid. Switch a Killbot or Mario Kill in your hand with 1 on the battlefield. And the reminder text to explain what it means by switching is, if a creature is tapped, the switch creature is tapped. The same is true for untapped, attacking, blocking, enchanted, equipped, and targeted. Any counters on the creature are on the switched creature instead.
And this doesn't count as a creature entering the battlefield, correct?
Correct.
Or leaving the battlefield.
Right. It's not a zone change. It's just now this, this creature is that creature instead.
And is the only killbot we've seen the curious one?
That's the only one so far.
Yeah, it's the only one here. More
So in
might
other
have been
words,
shown
she's-
today.
She's sort of like ninjutsu.
A little
Yes.
bit.
It's
Kind
like
of?
a super ninjutsu.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it's sort of like I think Dr. Doom. Like,
With
you
the
go to
Doom
kill
bots.
Mario Kill, and nope, it was a Doom bot. I mean, a kill bot. And then the thing shakes his fist. And then the real Dr. Doom, I mean Mario Kill, is
Kill.
sitting in then Latveria, I mean Bablovia, going, ha ha ha.
There you go.
And the curious killbot that Brian mentioned is a 2/1 for 2 artifact creature killbot. That's common.
Pretty vanilla, but it needs to be here to fill that out. So.
Mm-hmm.
We're beep, click, click.
All right, we've only got the artifacts left. And 1 land.
Wait, there's a land? Oh!
Mm-hmm. That was the one referenced earlier.
Go ahead
Oh.
and talk. Go ahead and talk about the land, Dirk, while we're down here.
Yeah.
So, Water Market. It's a rare land. Tap, add 2 colorless, correct?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
To your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast spells with watermarks. Shopping list. Lamp head attachment. X-ray contact lenses. Discount death ray. 2-headed hammer. Kitten fish.
I think each one of those belongs to
So one of the
the
cards.
factions.
Uh-huh.
Because it mentions watermarks. But as they mentioned the article that previewed this, it can be any card with a watermark. So if you've got some fancy judge foils or F&M promos or stuff from Ravnica,
Yep.
cool stuff.
Or stars and mirrored with the mirror and Phyrexian watermarks.
Yep. How's that burrito?
So what?
Nothing. So,
Can you hear me eating?
Oh, yeah, the whole
little
episode.
Oh,
Okay.
damn it.
You are not as clever as you think you are.
Oh, sorry.
I was trying to find somewhere it was sent to me, like a tweet or something telling what was going to be in each pack. But I can't
Oh, I saw that somewhere too.
Like, I don't know if it was... oh, wait. No. Here we go. Every pack of Unstable will include 2 Contraptions, 1 foil token, 1 John Avon land, and 11 Unstable cards. I don't know where Bill got that, but he copy-pasted that from something that... And I trust Bill to only give me this from a trusted source.
Okay.
I remember seeing it in an article yesterday.
Probably, yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there real quick because we were looking at the lands and I was like, oh, yeah, right. Well, I do believe it's late enough to where Dirk was probably need to bounce soon.
Yes, I do. So I'll go ahead and just wrap up with my final thoughts and everything and let you guys continue on. My final thought actually, ironically, is the lands. And as usual, they are absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down, I think the blue, the island, is the most beautiful of the cards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they always knock themselves out with unlands, but these are really something else.
Yeah, all of them look just fantastic. I love with the mountain that it's got the orographic lifting thing where there's wind coming off, so there's clouds on the tops of the mountain ridges, and you know, it's that whole thing. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. But again, the blue, just because it's got a giant mountain, like an island jutting out with birds around it and the waves and the white cap waves, that's just beautiful.
Yeah, I think John Avon outdid himself this time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the unlands are always just, they're beautiful. They really just, I would love to have a framed picture of them, you know, like art poster of them and just put them in my office because they really are just beautiful.
Well, yeah. And
So,
isn't it, like, I love the way that Dirk threw out, like, a random technical term, and I was about to throw out a different one. Like, I was going to say, look, it's even, the crepuscular rays on the plains are really hot, and then Dirk throws out the name of the whatever that
lifting
was.
thing.
Yeah, that. Like,
This
like damn, Dirk's making me look dumb.
Nerds we all are.
I'm just sitting here like, yeah.
Words.
Like, as far as random lame marketing ploys, which is all these are, like, the basic lands and the unsets are always a marketing ploy to make people buy the set, because otherwise, nobody's going to bother.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's, even with that caveat, these are I think the first thing that I tweeted when I saw these was, damn, those lands are incredibly sexy. And I'm not wrong.
No, they're not.
This is way better than Blake Shelton. All right, then.
So,
well, you have a good night, Mr. Dirk.
All right, you guys all have a wonderful night.
You too.
Okay. So how do we want to do the rest of these?
Do
we want to do the rest of these?
We can either stop here, but the issue is we're not recording next week. So...
Well, that's true. But, like, even if we were recording next week, the whole set comes out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Which is really bizarre.
Yeah. Well, because Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but usually Magic sets release on a Friday.
Yeah. Well, it's an unset, so...
Yeah.
I guess, are there any of these that you still find interesting? Because I'm sure if Dirk really wants to talk about them later, he will. But are there any here that you're like, ooh...
I have not read any of these.
Okay, then you should read The Clock of Doom.
The Clock of Doom! For 4 mana. Is an uncommon artifact for 4 and tap. Move the crank counter to your contraption deck's next sprocket and crank any number of that sprocket's contraptions.
Flavor text.
Well, I'm not there yet. That's really cool. As far as something that usually only happens once per turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So what's the flavor text? Perhaps you believe, even in these final moments, that you will be saved. But Doom has no snooze button, you fools! Baron von Count.
See, I just love that. So.
That is pretty great, yeah.
Yeah.
He's right. I don't see a snooze button anywhere on this thing.
Mike, what's one that stands out to you?
No dying.
The buzzing wackadoodle.
Yeah.
The hell?
This is another fun one. For 4, it's an uncommon artifact. As buzzing wackadoodle enters the battlefield, you and an opponent each secretly choose whack or doodle. Then those choices are revealed. If the choices match, buzzing wackadoodle has that ability. Otherwise, it has buzz. So the whack ability is tap, target player loses 2 life. The doodle ability is tap, you gain 3 life. And the buzz ability is pay 2 and tap, draw a card.
Huh.
Yeah. So you don't know what ability you're going to end up with.
Wow, that opens up for some really weird, like, mind game type things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
You and your opponent might be sitting there next level guessing each other for like 3 levels in a row.
Yeah. What happens then when you play the second one and they're just like, okay, is he going to pick the same thing again? Does he really want the whack because he needs some way to kill me? If I keep saying doodle?
Like, can I kill him if we both say doodle? Well, okay, so I know he wants whack, so does that mean he'll say doodle because I won't pick it? Well, I know he knows that I know that he knows that I know. Why does Doom have no snooze button?
One I definitely wanted to talk about.
And if it's me, you know I don't actually care. I just want to draw cards. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So Mike's next leveling on a different level.
So then, which one do I think he's going to pick so that he's stuck with something he doesn't really want as much?
Oh, God.
All right. So I have to talk about this. Split screen. For 4, it's an artifact that's rare. When it enters the battlefield, shuffle your library and deal it into 4 libraries. If anything refers to your library, choose one of your libraries for it. Play with your library's top cards revealed. When split screen leaves the battlefield, shuffle your libraries together.
Okay, so you're looking at the top 4 cards of all 4 of your libraries. So when you have to draw a card, you just pick the one you want?
Yeah.
And if something says search your library, you pick one.
You pick the one to search. You can't then search another one.
Dude, that's cool.
The art is really amazing, too. It's some minion sitting watching these screens. One of them has a pie for some reason. One of them has an outhouse. One of them has a tombstone that says subtlety on it. And one of them
Death of subtlety.
and one of them is him. And he's looking like, huh?
when you see the blown up version of the art, the image of him is, you can tell he's wearing like a sleep mask over his eyes. And he's kicked back in his chair asleep.
Oh, is that what that? Okay, I thought that was a wide-eyed expression.
No.
Oh my God, who?
There's a blown up version of it in Abe Sargent's article that previewed it.
Yeah, I saw that. I just didn't. I think I missed. I didn't get the thing.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out if there's a story here. You're gonna eat a bad pie and go to the bathroom and you're gonna die, but it's just random monitors looking at random things.
Mhm.
So, what did you think of the Sword of Dungeons and Dragons?
So we
That's
saw
some
this one a long time ago
Did we?
because
Yeah,
this
it
was
was
one
in
of
a-
the HasCon special.
Yeah, it was in the
cards.
goodie bag.
Okay, I didn't remember it.
Yeah, it was HasCon and Grimlock. I mean, Sword of Dungeons and Dragons and Grimlock,
And a nerf something.
yeah, a nerf thing that was really funny.
Yeah, that's right.
Which it's really too bad that those other two probably aren't going to make the set due to, copyright things. But since Wizards owns,
And I think for the
Dungeons and
nerf thing, you
Dragons.
actually have to have a nerf blaster to make it work.
oh, did you?
Yeah, that's part of how it works.
Okay, now I have to go look. HasCon Magic cards. Aha. Fire a Nerf blaster until empty at target library from at least 2 meters away. For
Oh,
each card
jeez.
knocked off that library, put it into its owner's graveyard, and Nerf War deals 1/2 damage to that player. And it says in parentheses, foam darts only. Okay, then.
I mean, you can't get one of those things that shoots a bunch of the, big round yellow balls.
Yeah.
Or like a super soaker.
Well, it says a Nerf blaster, so.
Yeah, but something like load it with something it's not supposed to have,
Yeah.
like water balloon.
Oh,
Like there was always that one jerk of a kid who would put like a thumbtack sticking out, like a pin sticking out, and shoot you with it. And hey! Then you'd have to, kill him. I mean, nothing.
I just noticed the hilt on the Sword of Dungeons and Dragons is that stylized ampersand.
Oh, it is. Oh yeah, we never actually read this. Hey Brian, what's it do?
For 3, of course, because it's a sword, it's an equipment, it's mythic, it has equip cost of 2, like the other swords. The equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from rogues and from clerics. I guess, are those popular classes in D&D?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty standard ones.
All right. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a 4/4 gold, okay, gold dragon creature token with flying and roll a d20. If you roll a 20 critical hit, you repeat this process. It doesn't have a second ability. I guess the second ability is you might get another one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not actually pay much attention to this one. I didn't pay much attention to the HasCon cards at all because, whatever. But that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do
then.
we want to leave these contraptions alone? Do we want to get into them?
Meh.
There are 1 or 2 cards that were previewed today that I thought we might want to talk about. They shouldn't take very long. I wanted to definitely get everybody's opinion on this one. Mike, have you been into the daily update today?
No, I haven't looked at anything.
All right. Well, here's one that was previewed, and just so you don't think I'm making it up, which I realize we're talking about an unset, but still, this is called Better Than One. It's got a picture of a 2-headed chicken on it. For a green and a white, it's a rare sorcery. A person outside the game becomes your teammate. Choose any number of cards in your hand, on top of your library, or on the battlefield under your control. Those cards become your teammate's hand, library, and permanents, respectively. It doesn't say anything about how many life points they have, so I'm assuming...
I guess you have a shared life total.
Okay.
If they're your teammate, then I guess since it doesn't define it, I guess that you have a shared life total.
Mark Rosewater mentioned a question on the Blogatog. If you're in a multiplayer game and someone gets knocked out, can you use Better Than One to choose them? And he said it should be someone that has not been in the game. So a person outside the game would be one that did not start the game.
That's weird. That doesn't make sense.
Wait, what doesn't make sense?
Blogatog. Oh, here. With Better Than One, does the new player start with 20 life? No, you and them share a life total. Think 2-headed giant. Where does your new friend come in as far as turn order goes? Your half of the game is essentially 2-headed giant. What happens if I use the 2-heads card to target the judge of attorney? The person you target has to willingly participate. Yeah. You get over here. Apparently a lot of people ask questions about this. Say I'm playing a game with 4 people and one of them gets eliminated. Can I cast Better Than One on that person who's eliminated? Or is a player that lost still considered a part of that game for some reason? Outside assistance cards require you getting someone who has never played in the current game, so technically you can. If they're the only option, though, I won't tell anyone. So, anyway. And then I thought there was at least one more here that was another... here we go. That was another of the host and augment, and it's right here. Because so far we'd only seen the one from the mechanics article, I believe. Multi-headed and lab robot.
Okay, lab robot costs 5. Is a 3/3 host hound. Oh, and it's an artifact. And when it enters the battlefield, return target host card or card with augment from your graveyard to your hand. Neat. And then multi-headed is a Hydra with augment 4 and a green. It gives +4/+4. And at the beginning of each end step, if you rolled a die this turn, you do whatever the host says.
Interestingly, we don't know the rarity. Oh, no, we do know the rarity. Multi-headed is common.
Yeah.
So, and there's one more here. Mike, do you see Hydradoodle?
Yeah, the Hydradoodle. So for XX green, it's a base 0/0. It's a Hydra Hound. It's rare. As Hydradoodle enters the battlefield, roll X 6-sided dice. Hydradoodle enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the total of those results.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And has reach and trample.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Oh, yeah, reach and trample. Forgot that part.
XX green, and you roll X 6-sided dice.
So you can always just
Jeez.
you can always just pay 4 and roll a d6 and see what happens. But as soon as X becomes 2 or more, the chances of things being insane are pretty significant.
Yeah.
Dude, the art on multi-headed freaks me out.
Well, you see all the art has that, like, tube type thing, so that when you lay them over, you can see the front half and the back half. But, yeah, that one's more ferocious than a lot of the more happy-go-lucky stuff going on.
A little bit.
So,
Anyway. Well, that's cool that we've got a second example for a host and an augment.
yeah, thought you'd like that. I'm sure we'll see more in the days to come, but...
Augment's really cool. You're essentially equipping a creature.
Yeah, because you have to play the host first.
Yeah. Huh.
So the augment cards are essentially enchantments, but they're done in a flavorful way. And because technically they're part of the creature, they help determine the creature's color identity in a way that a normal aura would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, everybody's dying but me. Dirk already died.
Yep.
I mean, went to sleep. So how about we go ahead and wrap this up?
Sounds good.
I'm afraid you guys are going to get me sick through the internet.
We are. That's how germs work.
Damn it.
You're welcome.
So how about some final thoughts, gentlemen, and also you guys?
Oh, he almost called us a gentleman, Mike. So I don't think I mentioned this last week, but I saw Thor Ragnarok, and it was pretty darn cool. And I think I might have mentioned this during the show. Actually, now that I think about it, so I'm not sure. I think some people were calling it a comedy. I think it's a funny movie. I wouldn't call it a comedy. I'd call it an action film, but whatever. Don't really know that I have a whole lot to say personally. I don't know that we have a whole lot going on. Looking forward to Thanksgiving. Looking forward to the holidays. So, and again, this set is weird. And at the beginning of the week, I was ready to say this is the worst unset ever because it just didn't feel like an unset to me. And by Wednesday, and then definitely today, I'm kind of like, I want to play with some of these cards, which makes it kind of weird because you can't just break out uncards anytime you want. I don't really put Chewie Face into my EDH decks. There's been once or twice where I've been tempted to, but I don't do it. So...
No, you put Cheaty Face up your sleeve.
See, that makes a lot more sense. But, like, you know, I've got a greater Morphling, and it wants to be used for something. So, So I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not like I have to have it, but I'm kind of like, huh. Did you see the announcement that they've decided they had? Sorry, they had.
I did see the announcement that they had.
For the Black Friday buy a box packs. They were originally going to be for when you bought a box of Ixalan. Enough people have said, "Hey, we want to buy your other products like Unstable and
like the new ones you're releasing,
Iconic Masters." So they're saying, "All right, if it's anything from Kaladesh on up, and it's a booster box, not like a dual deck, but a booster box, and it's from Kaladesh up through the stuff releasing now this week and next week, then it will have one of those special boosters with the alternate art flip cards." So
I hope that means they're sending more to stores.
I hope so.
Because that was already going to run out pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they weren't planning to do that to begin with, and then they were just like, they did it this way so that people would be like, hey, look at that, you're doing that too. But yeah. And with that, I think I'm going to head out, guys, because it's late, and I'm old man, so I will see you guys later.
Good night, Grandpa. He had no response to that. All right, then. How about you, there, Mr. Beard?
I agree with Brian. This, even though I wasn't sure whether it felt like an unset at first, Unstable feels more appealing in some way. I think because it's just, again, like we said, it's exploring the core aspect of an unset doing things that the normal game of Magic just doesn't do or can't do. And that's really interesting. There's a lot of cool cards flying around. And it's not that there are no jokes. There's plenty of jokes. There are a lot of these cards that are funny. And have funny stuff going on in the art or the flavor text or the concept. Like the Mantis is is one of my favorites in terms of just sheer comedy for how all the pieces fit together into what it does. But yeah, very, very interesting. Nice. And I wonder why. It makes me wonder why all of us seem to be either overtly against or just kind of an unspoken agreement about how we just didn't use unstuff in any of the decks we ever built and played against each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I
think the only time I ever played a game with one of you guys with unstuff was a deck that Brian had built from the stuff he got at the pre-release, and I just played a couple games with him, and that was it.
I seem to remember we allowed Brian to use Booster Tutor a couple times.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know. I just don't like uncards. Like, as far as playing with them. Like, they're really funny to read and all, but you know, it's really neat to read people's made up Street Fighter Magic cards too, or whatever, you know. So I don't know. They just don't. It just doesn't do anything at all for me. Ouch. But I have no follow up to that, really.
Yeah.
So is that it for you then?
Yeah, it is. I thought it was pretty limited.
What? So what were you eating during this whole podcast?
I was eating a big piece of homemade stuffing.
A piece of stuffing.
Yep, just a big old rectangle of it.
Like from the couch? Like
no, like that like Mom cooked in a pan and gave me a piece of to take home the last time I visited.
So the word piece isn't usually one that goes with stuffing in my brain. So I'm like, what?
Okay, well, it was baked in a pan and it was cut into rectangles. So and I got one of the pieces. Yes.
Oh, I see. Was it good?
Yes, it was very good.
Okay. Are you as clever as you thought you were?
Obviously not. See, usually when one of us is making some kind of obnoxious noise, we'll get harangued for it in the chat. So I was The fact that no one had called me out in the chat for the noise I was making indicated to me that it wasn't audible or.
It wasn't. It wasn't like you're or anything like that. We were just aware that you occasionally had food in your mouth. Otherwise, I would have been like, "Dude, will you mute when you're eating? What the hell?"
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. If it was actually.
But then it's an unset episode, so Mike was eating, whatever.
Yeah. So then when way past, then when near the end of the episode, when Brian's like, "So how's that burrito?" I'm like, "Oh no!"
And I love the way you try to play it off. You're like, "What?" Oh my god.
Maybe he was talking about something else that I wasn't paying attention to.
Maybe this was a reference, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is why I love you, Mike.
Maybe this is a TV show I don't watch.
It's Supernatural, by the way. So
sorry, Brian. Sorry.
As far as my final thoughts, as much as I don't want to necessarily play with uncards just ever, mostly because the previous 2 sets, there's just too much crap going on for it to be worth it, you gotta have dice and 15 different kinds of counters and all this nonsense.
And because every single card is based on some completely different joke, you get a ridiculous amount of onboard complexity.
Yeah, exactly. This one seems much lighter on that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't see myself going to any release events or anything, if there even are going to be any. But because it comes out the week of Thanksgiving, the chances of there being any that anyone goes to is sort of slim.
Mm.
But whatever. Good job, marketing department. But I'm not sure I'd go anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they are a lot of fun to talk about on the show. I will totally grant them that without thinking. So I guess that's that as far as uncards go. As far as everything else goes, I don't know. I hope everyone enjoys their Thanksgiving if you do that sort of thing. Those of you in America.
Mm-hmm.
I will probably end up going to Cracker Barrel with my old man for Thanksgiving because Mom is still at Nana's house taking care of her, and it doesn't look like she's going to be back before that, so we're not going to do a family thing for all of us. So I'll accompany the old man to Cracker Barrel. Because I don't know if you've ever had Thanksgiving at Cracker Barrel, which I'm sure you haven't, Mike, but it's really good.
I imagine it is.
I'm not the biggest fan of Cracker Barrel, but their food is insane on Thanksgiving Day. Which is why you have to wait 3 hours. Maybe not quite. I think we only waited 1 hour and 45 minutes last time that he and I did that. Which was the last time Mom was at Nana's house taking care of her on Thanksgiving.
I thought that sounded familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go and eat so much food we wish we were dead, and then we'll go back home and probably watch football. So it's not like anything's going to change. We'll just spend that hour and a half waiting at Cracker Barrel instead of watching football.
Yeah.
But yeah. So no episode of the Manipool next week. Sorry about that, but holidays and stuff. You guys will get over it. We have missed episodes for less reasons. I'm dead. Screw you guys. That's probably not a good reason, but we've missed it for that several times. So outside of unsets, I guess I'm still working on Cuphead. An episode went up for patrons this morning, and I was gonna get a second one done, but I had a drive, and then we had to record the show, and now I have a 12-hour drive tomorrow. So that one probably won't go up until the next day. Probably. But, yeah. I love the game so much. I'm watching myself. So I had one raw footage file that was 1 hour and 11 minutes long.
Wow.
And it was one run and gun level and one boss. Hour and 11 minutes. And when I got done with the run and gun level portion of it, I was already sitting at 18 and a half minutes. and hadn't touched the boss yet. And the boss was like another, I think, 45-ish minutes of raw footage. And I'm like, oh, God. So I ended up splitting it into 2 just so it didn't end up being like a 50 minute video.
Mm-hmm.
So the first half of that went up. And then the second half with Grim Matchstick is about a third of the way done as far as editing goes. I think that's as far as I got before I had to go drive today. So yeah, that's where I'm at on that. I don't really have anything else going on at the moment due to driving. And oh my God, the live stream. We did the charity live stream last weekend. Myself and Cap from Layer of Lore spent all weekend playing multiplayer games and taking charitable donations for Take This. The same people we did last year's charity drive for. And giving away a crap load. No, wait. We gave away an ass load of Steam games. It might have been multiple ass loads. I forget. It turns out an ass load is 25. I don't remember how we came up with that, but we came up with that on stream. So, yeah, dude. I've been saying it for a long time, but Manipool fans, like our listener base, are like the best. They really are, because we ended up raising, last year we hit $1,001. So I set the goal this year at 1,002, expecting, to crawl towards it at the end and be like, okay, you guys, come on, just, $20 more. Nope. We hit 1,002 on like our, 3 or 4 on the first day. Wait, was it that fast? I might be lying. I might be misremembering because it's all kind of a blur. But we hit it super stupid early and ended up at $1,552.03.
Wow.
Yeah. It's completely insane. It's so great how the listeners came together for this cause that I believe in, and clearly a bunch of them believe in. Take This is working on mental health issues in the nerd and gamer communities because it's very prevalent there, and they're working on awareness and helping people find the help they need and just erasing the stigma that comes with, mental health issues. They're the ones that run the AFK rooms at PAX and now various other conventions.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, being a gamer / nerd with a regular battle against mental health issues, I really appreciate it. And so many people did. Like, we had so many donations that were 3 digits. Like, our very first one actually was from Ben, who just was like, hey, I'm here. Boom, here's $100. And we were like, and yeah, we gave away a lot of Steam games and played a lot of games, and it was entirely too much fun, dude. We streamed for, oh God, I think it was 13 hours on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I shut the stream down, I played Overwatch with Bill for 2 more hours. And then on Sunday, we accidentally streamed for 9 hours.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah, we got started playing Killing Floor 2, and time just was gone. Like, I started off with Hearthstone, because I had to record the Tavern Brawl, and then Cap joined in, and we played some Viscera Cleanup Detail, Santa's Rampage. And we finished that, so that took like 2.5 hours. And then it was like, all right, let's play Killing Floor 2, and we grabbed Steph, and we started playing, and then eventually we grabbed Bill, and kept playing. And next thing you know, Bill's like, all right, this is my last game. And we're like, oh, why? He's like, because it's almost 1 o'clock and my brain just broke. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, I got to work tomorrow. I'm like, it's what? He's like, it's 12:45. I'm like, what? Because that game does that to you.
Yeah.
And then on Monday, we kept streaming Killing Floor 2. Eventually, we had a party of 5 with me and Cap and Haley and Steph and Bill. And it was amazing. And we ended up, that's where we finished at 1552.03. The 03 is because of Charles, who desperately wanted us to end on a not even number. Partially, I think, because other OCD people saw the not even number and went, and donated more to fix it. Which worked, I think, 3 times. So yeah, a big thanks to everyone who donated, everyone who just came to hang out. It was entirely too much fun. And everyone who played with us, too. We grabbed Jungle Rat Rob to play some speedrunners. We had Gothic for most of the day on Saturday. Was that the first? Yeah, Saturday was the first day. Yeah, we had Gothic for most of that. Steph joined us. Bill joined us. Jacob joined us and taught us how to play Prop Hunt, finally. And it was great. So, again, a big thanks to everyone involved, whether you were donating or just hanging out or whatever. We really appreciated it. It was a blast. So, yay. And I'm continuing to stream over on twitch.tv/themanapool, by the way. Also, the YouTube channel is youtube.com/themanapool. That's where the Cuphead videos, the video versions of both this show and Monday Night Magic, and basically all the videos I do end up there, of course, because it's YouTube. That's what you do there, is videos, duh. Also, to celebrate our 10th anniversary, I made us an Instagram account.
Yay.
Yeah, because, and it occurred to me, I make a lot of really, in my opinion, really cool thumbnails
Yeah, you do.
for the podcasts and for the YouTube videos that no one ever sees. And if they do, they see them, in very small, that video. So I really wanted a place to post them where, that's their purpose. So I made us an Instagram account. At the moment, it's got our 10th anniversary thumbnail that I made with the portal cake. And it's got the 10 years thing, a picture that Jars made for us, because Jars is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But also, not only the thumbnails, but I take a lot of random-ass pictures with my phone while I'm driving, or out on drives, or just all the time. And I never do anything with them. So I'm going to start throwing those up on Instagram, too, because that's what Instagram is for.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Like, I found a thing in my pictures today where I was driving and I turned and snapped a picture and I couldn't figure out what it was. I'm sitting here staring at this picture. What the hell is this? And so I started to zoom in and I realized I took a picture of a giant, mountainside where they were growing pumpkins right before Thanksgiving. And when I zoomed in a couple times, it was just covered in these big orange dots. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that.
Huh.
So yeah, to check all that out, it's Instagram, it's the Manapool. I don't know how Instagram, I think it's instagram.com/themanapool. I don't know, it's in the show notes already. It was in the show notes for the last week's episode too, but I didn't actually make it until the show was already posted. So yeah. So there you go, if you want to find more ways to follow us on nonsense. And of course, Twitter, the Manapool, Facebook.com, the Manapool, and Patreon.com/themanapool, where you can help support all I do with all of this ridiculous amount of content. There's the 2 podcasts a week, Monday Night Magic, and of course, the Manapool. Hi, thanks for listening. There's the YouTube videos, the Twitch streaming, and all that. And you can get early stuff, YouTube videos and Manapool episodes early. You can get the early stuff and the odds and ends, all the stuff recorded before and after, both Monday Night Magic and the Manapool, which is uncensored and unfiltered and really edited only for personal information, which does not need to be on the internet, even with just in the hands of our trusted patrons, just to be safe. When Brian rattles off where Sam goes after school, that's a thing I need to cut out,
Mm-hmm.
And you can get the odds and ends, the early stuff, and if you so choose, get your name read off on both podcasts each week and on the end slate for all the videos that go up in that month. So, for instance, this week I would like to thank Kim Ho, Andrew Hunt, Al, Paul David, Lands Delicious, Timu Hellas Haryu. I think I'm saying that close to right. Close. John Morris, Stuart Slaw, PJ McMullen, Bosco Brittain, Casey, Nathan Hay, AJ Javieres, Cody Buckawing, Jacob Jansens, Jason Kaus, Gothic Man, Patrick, Brian DeLucci, Stark Maximum, Dan Holm, Mike Millerburned, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. Thank you all so very much for your insane generosity. And yeah, I do believe that will be a full episode. Good Lord, we've probably been recording for 18 hours. It's close.
Yeah, probably.
So nothing. That's it. So I have been Chewie, This has been the Mana Pool number 487. Oh, and wait a minute. The aforementioned Andrew Hunt tweeted at us a shout out to Isleback Spawn, Magic's only 48 for 7.
Huh. That's the thing that hides in the shell dock aisle.
Is it?
Yeah.
Damn, that's eerie. Wow. Well, those young men and women gave their oath of druids. And in your apathy, Lord. Good night, sweet Rogue Kavu. Anyway. Yeah, so I've been Chewie. This has been episode 487 of the Mana Pool. Thank you all so very much for listening, and go play some Magic.